Have a story to tell? I believe you. Ghost, cryptids, the unknown. Let's talk about it. This is my GhostCast. Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of my GhostCast. Your host, Therese Gonzalez. Today's guest is Ricardo Ruiz, famous artist and awesome. I think he's a comedian, to be honest with you. This guy's pretty awesome. He's got lots of scary stories and funny stories. He's an artist. He's got all kinds. I'll put his bio in the description. I had really bad internet connection, and after I did the episode and I finally looked at it, man, it is super laggy on my end. Not his end, but either way, please enjoy the episode. Please excuse, and I feel bad for the video lag, but the audio sounds amazing. This is the first of 5 stories that Ricardo is telling. This one is called The 10th Floor. Now, don't be scared. Hey guys, welcome back to my GhostCast. Your host, Therese. Today, special guest. This guy is awesome. Hey Ricardo, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Pleasure to be here, man.
So I learned about Ricardo probably about 2 years ago. But Joe, for those of you guys who watch, Joe Pena is another artist. And he was always talking about Ricardo's art. And how it's really neat. He's got to introduce us, and man, so much has gone on there. It's like, okay, eventually, and then finally, after that last episode came out, he's like, I was like, dude, I gotta interview this guy. I want to see his art, and tell me. So I finally reached out to Ricardo, and here we are, man. This guy's got some stories. He's got some art. He's got all kinds of stuff. So please tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Ricardo.
Well, my name's Ricardo Ruiz. I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas. I've lived here all my life. I've worked here all my life. I've been a working artist since 1986. That's all I do now. I mean, I had another job for a long, long time, but 2017, I took the leap and just, tried to make a living from making art. And so far, so good. Knock on wood, cross your fingers, yada, yada, yada. So my work mostly is about, you paint what you know, right? If you're a writer, you write about what you know. Well, I know South Texas. I know what it's like to be a Chicano here in South Texas. South Texas Mexican, that's me. So my paintings really reflect a lot of the culture of South Texas. There's a lot of references to fishing, the monte, curanderismo, family, birth, weddings, fatherhood, real universal topics, but I take them and I put them in a South Texas landscape, and most everything I paint takes place, outside, but it looks more like a stage setting. If you look at my paintings, it looks like you've gone to a play, and I use toys and dolls and fezzes from the Shriners, and I'll just kind of piggybanks as characters in these paintings, to tell the story, a specific story, but encode it so that everyone can enjoy it, as opposed to just my cousin BB. So now that's pretty much the brunt of it. Got a wife, 3 kids. They're all grown. The wife's grown too. So. I don't know how they really need Lester.
The really neat thing here is that we're from the same place. We're both from Corpus. I was born and raised there in Corpus, so it was really neat to hear somebody else that's animated like myself to be kind of, in here. And
you get your detractors of the city, but as far as I'm concerned, good, because it's just more Corpus for me.
I'm with you. I actually bought into the dream for a little while because I did the, you know how everybody in Corpus is like, oh, I'm moving on. I'm going bigger. I'm going to San Antonio.
Yeah. I'm out here, man. You know, I
went. Go ahead.
No, I was one time I was when I was in class. One time I heard these two students from out of state, and they were talking, and you know, and they're talking, and they're complaining about Corpus Christi. You know, they're just complaining about Corpus Christi. You know, then at one point, the girl, one of the gals goes, "Yeah, these places, I can't wait to go back home. This place is a shithole." And I looked at them and I said, "You know, this shithole's my house. This is my home. If you don't like it, please get the hell out of here. No one's keeping you here. I'll wave goodbye. I swear to God." "Well, I'm sorry, Ricardo. I didn't, you know." Well, you're just rude, you know. Hombre, I'm Corpitos through and through, you know.
Yeah, I can tell too. Yeah. You know, I recognize my people everywhere where I go. I was like, dude, those are Corpus folks. You can always tell it's good people. You know, every once in a while I get, you know, that one there. You know, but
it's funny.
But you can tell by, you know, I can always tell. Yeah, you really can. And I'm like, I didn't know that until you leave. And when you leave, I did. I left to San Antonio for a few years, for about 6 years. I left and I was like, hey, and it was a party, but I was like, man, all these people they're all right, but there's nothing like home.
Nothing like home, dude. I mean, that's what happens. You know, you're used to a certain vibe, you know, and you know when you go somewhere else, it's different. You know, everything just feels different. You know, even the toilet paper is too rough.
It was
well,
there's not enough. You know, a couple of years ago, there wasn't enough toilet paper. I couldn't tell where I was anymore. You know, the first thing Mom told me back over there in Corpus is everybody bought out the toilet paper right off the bat.
Yeah,
like, Mom, I told you to get it.
The only thing got me through 2020 was my HEB. Chingan su pinche madre, you know. If I want anybody anything, it's HEB, you know.
Man, that's what I love is HEB, man. Going back home and no, I've lived after I left Corpus. I haven't been back to live there, but I have, you know, visited and lived in different places. I've lived in California. I've lived in Vegas for a little bit. You know, and you know what, man, I always love coming back to Corpus. It was kind of a combination of sadness and happiness all the time. You know, you know how family gives you the up and downs, right?
Yeah, that's where it goes. Home is always gonna, you know, represent mixed feelings. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, home is home. What you gonna do?
Yeah, any chance I get to come and see my mom, I love my mom, and I don't know if it's fair for me to compare most of the world. And my mom's a Corpus gal, city that I really appreciate. That my dumbass, I wish I had that more because I'd probably be a little happier.
Yeah, my mom's still alive. Gracias a Dios. She was born in 33, and she is. I mean, she's just a crazy lady now. You know, I guess she's smart as hell. She's sharp as a whip. But you know, she's basically like survived everyone. Everyone she knew pretty much dead, except for one little brother. And so she spends a lot of time just thinking, and she comes up with some weird ass shit. She comes up with weird stuff, and it just entertains the hell out of me. You know, I go see her because I see her 2-3 times a week. I bought a house close to her house because, you know, my dad died in '86, so I was pretty much you know, taking care of her. So I never wanted to be too far from her. So I see her all the time, and you know, she's always got something nutty to say. You know? Something she saw on TV, and just, you know, she builds it up in a whole crazy scenario. So
makes you wonder though sometimes, huh? Because some of those scenarios, if we actually had enough time to think, as reason I say that is because during when the COVID trials happened, you know, when they all started off, I caught it, and like I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and they, you know, I was like, I almost died, and they, you know, that's when they had us where they weren't sure how to approach this thing.
How to treat
so
you,
I was in a room by myself for 3 weeks, and the nurse would come in, look like a spaceman. She's like,
yeah, dude.
They
Yeah.
come in with somebody. But you're there thinking, and you have time to think. And here I am watching all the BLM riots and everything going on, and all the stuff going on everywhere, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, I got time to think. It's sad, but I'm processing files, and all of a sudden, patterns across the world start. We combine the aspects of the supernatural. What is that? Oh shit. Excuse my language. I mean, you can cut this on the show.
there's always things out there that you just can't, you don't know what it is. You don't know why something happens, and then that's when the things start going on in your head. Anywho, one day, an ex-girlfriend came to visit. She took my mother and my sister out to dinner. And I didn't want to go because I had to work that night. For some reason, I didn't want to go, or maybe I wasn't invited. She was my ex, right? She wanted to do it. In any case, so I was stuck there at the house, drinking Bartles and James. Remember those? Drinking Bartles and James, and watching Jacques Cousteau on TV. Right? I was alone in the deep, then suddenly a noise emerges from the depths. And I'm watching. All of a sudden, I hear on my front door. Right? So I get up and I run to the door to open it. There's nobody there. So I look, around the porch and stuff. No, there's nobody there. So I close the door. I go back to my Bartles and James, take a swig because I'm a man, and I'm watching Jacques Cousteau, Bartles and James, you bitches. Anyway, all of a sudden I hear a few minutes go by and I hear on the door again. So I get up again. I open the door. I look around. This time I step out and I look around the yard. Nothing. No, what the hell is it? What is that noise? I'm looking for an animal or something. I go back inside. I go back to my Bartles and James. Start watching Jacques Cousteau again. All of a sudden I hear again, and this time I jump and I run to the door and I swung it open and I ran out. I ran around the house. I ran around the whole house just looking. What the hell make that noise? Nothing. So I go back inside. I'm thinking, what the hell could it possibly have been? And then I thought, well, it could be it could either be, it was an animal, like a tacuache or a cat, or maybe it was a devil scratching on my door, interrupting Jacques Cousteau. So, yeah. So I put down the Bartles and James and I went into my bedroom because I turned my bedroom into a studio in those days. That's where I did all my work. And I had a big canvas, so I painted the whole scene, I made it see where I'm sitting there watching TV, and you can see from outside the devil scratching at my door, and there's also a bunch of little demons floating around the window that you can't see, and then all you see is my glasses in the glow of the television.
I saw that picture because it was in the 80s, right? I was looking, and I was like, "What did he go here?" I was like, "What is this?" I'm gonna ask him later.
The devil came scratching at my door, interrupting Jacques Cousteau. True story.
Is that what that was? Oh man, that is interesting. I'll be sure to post it so that the audience can see that.
I told when my mom and my sister came back, I told them, and they, all they could tell me was, no more Bartles and James for you. I'm like, it's like 2% alcohol. Come on, I wasn't drunk. It's practically Kool-Aid, Jeez.
Like Mad Dog 2020. You're like, those stories like that make you go, okay, what is that?
What's up? This is John from 979 Boys, and you're watching my GhostCast with my favorite Coach Gonzalez.
So what got you interested in the supernatural?
But it's not that I was interested in it. It's not that it just came and slapped me in the face. It's not like I wonder if there's life after death, or I could give a hoot. As long as I'm above ground, I don't care about ghosts until you see one, and then you're like, what the? when I was working at this one hospital, local hospital here in town. I started working there in 1980. I was maybe 20 years old, and they put me on the day shift, but then a little later they put me on the evening shift. So which was 3 o'clock to 11:30. Now back in those days, when on the evening shift, a patient's family could order a rolling bed, a cot, to be delivered to the room, so they could stay with the night with their family. So everybody got assigned a different floor to deliver the cots to. So I was always getting the 10th floor on this one hospital. So I don't care. I'm taking an elevator. It's not like I'm carrying the damn things. So I load up the elevator with a bunch of beds, get off the 10th floor, roll them out. I start dropping them off in front of all the rooms that are requested. And as I'm walking back, I'm walking on this long hall to get back to the service elevator, and I see there's this nun walking in front of me, and I'm like 3 steps away from her, no more than 3 steps. I'm literally just trying to keep a polite distance without scaring her, because it's already like 11 o'clock at night. And she turns and looks at me, and I go, good evening, sister. And I was used to seeing nuns at that hospital, because there were a lot of nuns around the departments in those days. But she was in full official nun gear. She wasn't like there's like a nurse. She was full Sisters of the Incarnate Word kind of get up, with the long gown, then the sash, with the big insignia for that order of nuns. She had everything. She was young. Anyway, she's walking down the hall. I'm walking behind her. I'm trying to be respectful and not pass her up. So I let her walk. When we get to the elevator hall, she turns around the corner, and then I turn right behind her, and she was gone, just gone. And where'd she go? So I go to the other hall, and I look up and down. There's no way that lady could have moved that fast. I mean, I was literally on her tail, So then I remember there's a chapel on the 10th floor. So I go to the chapel, thinking maybe she's in there praying. I open it up, no, empty. The lights are all out. So I come back, I'm just confused. If the stairwell had opened, the door always closed real slow. So I would have known that. I mean, they're just telling me, where the heck did this nun go? So I go downstairs, and they said, hey, how's everything going, Reese? And I go, hey, man, I saw a monjita up there on the 10th floor. I was walking right behind her. When I came on the corner, she disappeared. They go, oh, yeah, that's the ghost. That's the ghost nun. I go, what? He goes, yeah, that's why you get that. He goes, that's why you get the 10th floor. New guy always gets the 10th floor.
Oh.
I never really saw her again. I mean, she didn't scare me. I mean, if you're going to be a ghost nun, well, that's kind of like a friendly ghost, like Casper, I would think. Not like the movies that they have now. I mean, I think if you see a dead nun, well, that's kind of maybe good.
Oh yeah.
Good luck or something. But
was there anything in particular you remembered, like when you were near her? Is there a scent or anything?
No.
Cold draft?
It was, no. It was, that hospital was air conditioned, really cold anyway. So it was, but she didn't make any noise when she walked, but I didn't think anything of it, because I mean, I'm walking and I'm making all kinds of noise, work boots, and I'm just colliding behind her. So I didn't think anything of it. I didn't see her feet, but she had the long gown, so nothing seemed out of the ordinary, except that she was really quiet, and she was just walking, just steady. And then when she hit that corner, she just was never there. She just disappeared in thin air. That's all it was. I didn't smell anything. I didn't, feel any. I didn't get goosebumps. I was confused, but otherwise it was just a normal thing. Right? Then when I go downstairs and I mentioned it to the guys, because there was a crew of about 5 or 6 guys working the evening shift, and they all started laughing. Oh yeah, that's the ghost nun, dude. I go, that's why you got the 10th floor. None of us want to go up there. You guy gets the 10th floor. Years later,
the FNG, bringing you guys.
A couple of years later, the girl who ended up being my wife started working for us, and they put on the evening shift for a few weeks, and I sent her to the 10th floor. Just to be a jerk. I didn't know I was going to marry her.
You're like, and that's how I got her.
I didn't know I was going to marry her, man. So I sent her to the 10th floor every day,
That sounds like something I would do. All right, let's see how this works out. That is awesome, man. So so okay, I got a lot of questions. I'm like, so when she turned around, did she smile at you or anything? Like, hey.
She gave me a little smile, the nun smile, kind of, real, pleasant, but small, she had that peaceful look on her face. You know how nuns can have some of the most placid, serene faces, even today when you come across it, they got that joy. They got that Holy Spirit, So that's what she looked. So I thought she was out of place, but I thought maybe she was visiting another nun. Maybe she was watching another nun, but there weren't any.
Another order.
Yeah,
or something?
No. I had them check the patient list, see who was on that floor. Back in those days, you could. Can't now. But nah, it just. But Therese, if you'd been there, and literally, she hit that corner, and I hit the corner. It was, like Grand Prix racing. I was right behind her, I was drafting off her. And then, when she hit that corner, there's just nothing there anymore. And, it's still another 8 feet to get to the other hallway. So it was just physically impossible, Maybe she got abducted by aliens. I don't know. There's thing in this world.
Maybe we're the aliens, right? We're like, hey, what? No.
From Ghost to Aliens.
That's a pretty cool story. Ricardo's got a couple more for us. Guys, just go grab something, use the bathroom real quick, come right back. We got some more interesting stories. We'll be right back. Don't forget, don't be scared.